Hey, good morning. It's Mike Zschunke, Berkshire Hathaway Homes and Ship Fund Properties in Scottsdale, Arizona, on our way to Paradise Valley. Residential market chat with Mike Z. We're going to talk about residential, we're going to talk about commercial, we're going to talk about the economy, and then we're just going to touch base and kind of clarify this interest rate silliness that's going on. I don't know, I have a lot to say about that. That could be a whole day conversation. But anyway, residential, 5 of the last 6 weeks inventory has been down. Scottsdale was down again today. Significantly for, I guess, not significantly, we were at 1,600 a few weeks ago. We're at 1,566 single-family detached homes. Remember, I look at that because that's a more stable number. There's a lot of condos and apartments being built that are included in the housing numbers. So we look at single-family detached homes actively for sale. That's down last 5 of the 6 weeks. A lot of people, taking their house off the market. That I don't know why they do, but they do. So anyway, So buyers are still here. It's funny. I wake up as realtors. I wake up every morning unemployed. We've got our listings and things like that. And Monday or Tuesday was pretty quiet, and I was a little concerned. But then Wednesday, Thursday, the phone was ringing the last couple days. A lot of families relocating from the high-tax states. I say Chicago, Washington, Oregon, California. It's the tax savings is really unbelievable. The cost of living savings. Phoenix and Scottsdale is not necessarily the cheapest, but it's on the lower end, so it really makes a difference. So give us a call if you need to, if you want to know those differences. We have some tools to use for that. But, so it really picked up. And you know what? The New York thing that I posted the other day, you're listening, it's happening. People, your vote matters. People, now they don't need to stay where they are as much. They can move 300 plus days of sunshine a year and sunny almost every day and low humidity. We almost moved to Tampa, Florida instead of Arizona. But coming from the Northeast, but we love Arizona, the dry heat. I'll go out and ride my bike up to 110 degrees and it's okay. So, we love it. So a lot of families now, kids out of school, they're kind of slowed down, went on their vacations, and now they can get out, now they can start looking for homes. So it's been busy. There's a lot of new home data, home economic data this week. And, you got to take it in a grain of salt. Those are national numbers. Like I say, every market has its own little, economic thing. Case-Shiller Home Price Index showed that prices were up, but prices are pretty steady around Scottsdale. You'll hear prices are dropping, but it's actually the rate of price increases is dropping. So prices are pretty steady, and Case-Shiller Home Price, that's a 3-month moving average with a 2-month lag. So those are homes that were put under contract back in February. We want to look at today. New home sales, that was a big headline too. That was slow a little bit. But again, builders, they adjust. They're not a charity. Excuse me. They they control their inventory of available homes. And those homes, new home sales goes, you take that into account when it goes under contract. So a lot of those don't even make it to close. So that number was down, and building permits is down. So new homes, it's tough. They've got some challenges. It's expensive for them to build spec homes, and labor. It's hard to find labor. So we also had pending home sales. Pending home sales was up 1.1% year over year. But then take that into perspective. May 2024 was pretty quiet. So, things are just rolling along. And like I always say, that's always news. That's always just noise. News noise. So if you're looking to buy or sell, I always think this is a great time of year. You see a lot of homes going off the market at all price ranges. But, it's a great time to negotiate. There's a whole backlog of inventory that's off the market. So let us know. Give us a call. Let us know what you're looking for. And we work with clients that are just kind of keeping an eye on things. And we work with active clients that say, I want to move right now. I want to move a month. Or, if I see a deal, let me know. But now I'm seeing some big negotiating on some single families, the luxury side. They take it off the market. It's still for sale, but it's not actively marketing. So, if you want to get your offer accepted First of all, go see the property. Even on the sales side, if someone hasn't stepped foot in the property or really sold me that buyer is serious, I don't really consider it. Second, put it on paper. Let's put it out, pick up the phone, negotiate. Commercial real estate, everything's negotiated beforehand. You do a letter of intent. Residential, you gotta put it on paper. If it's on paper, that agent has to present it to the client. And again, you never know what their relationship is. So let's prove why we think that it's worth that price to you. You never know, you might get a deal. So, and sellers get frustrated after they've been on the market a while. They take it off and they're just kind of in limbo and they want to get moving forward. So on the sell side, you gotta price it right now. You gotta make your home the best home at that price in that specific market. The buyers are pretty educated and buyers are a little hesitant these days. I don't know why, if it's a generational or society thing right now. Nobody really wants to pick up and have that conversation. I do it all the time. I pick up the phone. Hey, we're at this number. Are you at this number? What do we got to do to make it together? I do it all day long. So, it doesn't bother me, but a lot of buyers are just hesitant. I don't know, maybe they're afraid that they're going to come in too low or too high or not get it or can't afford. I don't know why. I don't know that answer. But, let's pick up the phone, have a conversation. And also, it's busy. If I try to stay in touch with all our clients pretty regularly, but if you see me say something or something, you want to reach out to me, pick it up. I'm not here to sell you something. I'm here to provide a service and get you where you want to be. So that's it. That's the residential side. So just communication. I guess that's what I want to touch. Commercial. Had a good Scottsdale Area Association of Realtors meeting this week. Most important meeting, I think, in all of real estate. You learn what's going on around the valley, where the big money's going, where things are moving here. Don't have my assistant here today, so I'm trying to figure out where we're going. But commercial, the Greater Phoenix Economic Council guy came out and spoke. They've got a lot in the pipeline, a lot of companies, interested. It's an easy sell for them. We've done some pretty decent commercial deals over the years, companies moving from out of state, and it's just amazing the tax savings. So Phoenix is an easy sell on the commercial end, just for companies coming, saves them a lot of cash and improves their cash flow. But so what's going on in the commercial market? SoftBank CEO, he wants to invest $1 trillion in Arizona. Wants to bring manufacturing, the chip factories and AI out to the data warehouses. He wants to spend $1 trillion in Arizona. Don't know if that's going to happen, but you know what it's going to do if it does. We don't know if that's really going to happen because that's a long ways out. Those take years and teams of people to work on. But if it does, what it does do, it creates an interest. It really brings up the economic value in Phoenix, raises the economy, raises the incomes, and that goes over to the residential market too. So it's retail, small retail has a lot of investment coming in. Multifamily, a lot of fly-by-night multifamily investors got kind of hung out to dry. So a lot of that's turning over now. If the numbers work, that's a good deal. Light industrial. I always think 5,000 square foot industrial is the best investment ever on the commercial side. There's always a need for the landscapers, the small business owners. Always going to need light industrial. George Kurtz, he's a billionaire here in Scottsdale. He just purchased, I'm really off track today. Scottsdale Quarter. He's going to renovate Scottsdale Quarter, put $100 million into Scottsdale Quarter, and he's spending $1 billion just up the street from that on a mixed-use live-work play called The Park. So, I always say, and he's also got something going on in Old Town. I don't really know about that project much, but he's investing money in this valley on the east side. And that's what I say to the small investors. That's all big teams work on those, big teams of attorneys. And I would say, as my client, the smaller investor, let's follow that. They're follow where the big money's going. And that's kind of where you want to place your money for returns. They're going to spend the money on the infrastructure. They're going to improve utilities, improve all that. So, like land. if you see that happening and you see some land there, pick it up. It's like, wouldn't you love to be the first person who bought the vacant land next to the Chicago, the Willis Tower now? Something like that. But, just pay attention to what's going on around the valley. And that's kind of on the commercial end. So commercials, we've got some good projects going on now. So that's keeping us busy. Economy, another busy news week. Headlines, up, down, up, down. But what you notice, the bond market. The United States Treasury is the most stable investment in the world. And, I'm going to pull over here, and because otherwise I'm going to lose you here. But I'm going to pull over. Hopefully I have service up here. And the U.S. bonds are the most stable investment in the world. And those have kind of, the 10-year, I think, was down 20 basis points this week. Up a little bit today. But it's the most stable investment in the world. And there's cash flows. Where does the big money go? Same like I was talking about commercial. So everybody talks about this uncertainty and interest rate and tariffs. The markets aren't buying it. S&P hit a record this morning, I think. NASDAQ hit a record this morning. Those markets aren't necessarily the economy, but it shows that people are interested. And what someone says and what they do is not necessarily two different. This isn't necessarily true. They're not necessarily the same. So. Anyway, everybody's given Powell. He had his Senate hearing meeting, semi-annual Senate hearing meeting this week, and it's really become political. I think people have lost focus of what the Fed does. The Fed's job is to stabilize the economy. They control the monetary policy of the United States, not the fiscal policy. That's the U.S. Treasury. So everybody's giving Powell a hard time. And I used to disagree with Powell. I thought he was kind of a wussy for a long time. But he's standing strong. You can make a case for cutting rates now. You can make a case for raising rates. But the fact that the bond market is in a pretty tight trading range shows me that things are pretty stable. And that one threw me off. But nobody really sets rates. People, especially on the residential side, people are waiting for rates to cut. It's all expected future value on interest rates. It's not like one day we wake up, the Fed cuts rates. They don't really cut rates. They cut the money supply that affects the rates. But you can go on my YouTube channel. I did a better explanation of that. But it's not like you wake up one day and your mortgage rate is 50 basis points lower. That's 0.5%. So it's more of a long-term. Bond investors, they're looking out 2, 5, 10, 30 years. Your mortgage is 30 years. So it's not like you wake up one day and your mortgage rate is all of a sudden 50 basis points lower just because the Fed decided to adjust liquidity or the supply of money, the money supply, to get their target rate of lending between banks. Does that make sense? It gets kind of complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. But don't get hung up on all this rate stuff. It's, be careful who you're listening to. There's a lot of market updates up there I've seen lately. Nobody does it live. I do this live so you get to know me, I get to know you, and it's kind of just off the cuff. It doesn't always make sense to me. But, anytime somebody starts a post with, if interest rates do this, I immediately give them zero respect. Because what if they go up? What if they go down? Nobody knows what's going to happen. So be careful what you get your news from. And if a real estate person if a realtor is talking about it and they say realtor, they don't know what they're talking about. It's realtor. So those in the industry know. And anyway, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, just be careful who you listen to. And, we've got some running around to do today. Like I said, my wife's out of town. If I could ask for your prayers. A friend of ours back in North Carolina, good family friend. 20-year-old son didn't wake up on Tuesday, so my wife went out to be with them. And, life's too short. If you want to do something, do it now. It's, there's no waiting. Life's short. Just appreciate every day. So if I could ask for your prayers for them, that'd be a big help. And appreciate it. Anyway, we got running around to do today. Have a great day. Be smart. Be safe. We're here to educate, facilitate, and advise. Just pick up the phone, give me a call. I'm a real person. So have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. If you want to meet me tomorrow, we normally do the Hike Saturday, Bike Sunday. I'm going to be out at Hawes on the east side. There's a couple trails that I want to ride tomorrow. If you want to go mountain biking tomorrow, it's a little steeper. than my 54-year-old mind should probably do, but it'll be fun. So anyway, give me a shout. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Be smart, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.